On this special day, we celebrate Jackie Robinson Day. The Braves will play host to the Kansas City Royals and honor Jackie Robinson by wearing his number 42. As baseball celebrates his incredible contributions, the Braves also shoot for their 10th straight win. So here's to you, Mr. Robinson, as we celebrate Jackie Robinson Day in Atlanta. It's a gorgeous night for baseball tonight at Turner Field in Atlanta. And yes, indeed, we do celebrate the great life and great career of number 42, Jackie Robinson, as the Braves open up a brief two-game series with the first place Kansas City Royals. And hi again, friends, along with Joe Simpson and Tom Glavine, I'm Chip Carey. Tom Hart will be along in a moment. Everyone in baseball certainly knows the legend of Jackie Robinson. You perhaps more than any other, Joe. You were a Dodger. What does Jackie Robinson Day mean to you?
Well, the legacy he left for baseball started in the Dodger organization, of course, and any of us who passed through that organization felt that. It was handed down and felt by every player that came through there, and you felt it, and you learned from it, and you appreciated it every day.
Yeah, and to pick up on that theme of having an impact, one of my favorite quotes is a Jackie Robinson quote, and he said, "The true measure of a man's life is the impact he had on others." I think it's safe to say that Jackie not only had a huge impact on baseball culture, but certainly a huge impact on American culture as well.
So it's the Braves and the Kansas City Royals on this very, very special day for baseball. When we come back, Tom Hart will talk more about the incredible life of Jackie Robinson as we continue from Atlanta in a moment.
With the rest of Major League Baseball, Jackie Robinson Day on the 66th anniversary of him breaking baseball's color barrier. Both teams will be wearing number 42 tonight in honor of Jackie Robinson. Welcome back, everybody. Tom Hart at Turner Field, first of two between the Royals and the Braves tonight. If you're not familiar with this story, well, Jackie Robinson was born right here in Georgia, so it's a story that starts in our home state. But as Dick Enberg will tell you, it's one that blossomed once he got to the West Coast.
He was UCLA smart and Pasadena street tough, proud and handsome, the chosen one. Didn't get his chance till 28, prime years stolen, yet for 10 years, a dominant big league star. His crossing the color line was greeted with bold bigotry from fans, the press, opposing teams, and even his own Dodger teammates. His entire professional life riddled with hate and threats of death. All the while, his only emotional recourse in answering this inhuman test was to turn the other cheek. It demanded Herculean restraint. The only place for defiance and retribution was on the playing field, where Jackie could and did answer with aggression, hitting with authority and purpose, and sliding with menace. Oh yes, he played hard, all the while with a self-imposed governor on his heart. To verbally retaliate would undermine his cause. And he won. As sure as he stole home, Jackie stole prejudice from millions. His all-star excellence inspiring equality on and off the field. Sadly, he died young, only 53. No wonder. He lived with the enormous weight of fighting for every man's equal rights. Every man's. And he was still swinging at the very end.
And I have been moved by the cause that brings so many of you out day in and day out, putting your lives on the line so that America can be free.
So we pause today to salute an American hero, Jackie Roosevelt Robinson, an American heavyweight champion, knocking out prejudice and helping to win this nation's social freedom.
You may know that before he joined the Dodgers, Jackie Robinson wore the Negro League uniform of the Kansas City Monarchs. But did you know that the second professional uniform he wore was that of the Kansas City Royals? Then a Winter League barnstorming team. Jackie Robinson originally suited up for the Royals before going to AAA, and then finally Ebbets Field 66 years and 1 day ago. This newest version, the Kansas City Royals meet the Braves for just the 7th time. It's a first of 2. Chip, Joe, and Tom will have the call when we return to Turner Field right after this.
Joe, Tom, and Chip with you here at the ballpark. Happy New Year, Tom Glavine. The Braves off to a flying 11-1 start, and the pitching has been one big reason why.
Yeah, it really has been. We've heard a lot about the hitting, but the pitching's been there as well, as you can see in this graphic. First in ERA, an ERA overall, second in starters ERA. The bullpen's been fantastic, as they were last year. they're not giving up many base runners per 9 innings, and the opponents are not hitting much against them as well either. So they're firing on all cylinders right now as much as they can, and that's the reason why they're 11-1.
And the bullpen still hasn't given up an inherited run. I think that's a key part of what how good their work has been too.
And that'll be put to the test tonight for the Kansas City Royals. Provide the opposition. The Royals start play today, tied for first place in the American League Central. Chris Medlin has been, as you see, outstanding in his last 14 regular season outings as a member of the Braves rotation.
Yeah, much talked about, as everybody knows, but there they are again, 10-1 with a 1.03 ERA. And he's 1-1 this year, with a 1.5 ERA, coming off a win against Miami his last time out, going 7 strong innings with giving up 3 hits and a run and a strikeout.
His 4 keys to pitching success tonight, he said in about the 3rd inning of that start down in Miami, Tom, that things came together, and it was because he slowed down a little bit. All of a sudden he was up to 91. His breaking ball had a little more snap because he slowed his motion down a little bit, and hoping tonight to have a better beginning. He's gotten off to some rough starts here, his first 2 starts, and they aren't bad. It's just not Chris Medlin-like with a couple of walks, and the 1 run he allowed in Miami was unearned.
So plenty of familiar faces for this Royals ball club who comes to town. Their manager is Ned Yost. Remembered him. Here's his Toyota starting lineup. Old friend Jeff Francoeur is in the lineup tonight. He's hitting 7th and is the Royals right fielder. Alex Gordon is their hottest hitter with an 11-game hitting streak. And guys up and down this lineup, a lot of young offensive players drafted very highly by this Kansas City club, but surprisingly not much power for the Royals ball club in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, just 4 home runs as a team. A little limited there on the long ball department.
So Alex Gordon, the Kansas City left fielder, gets things started against Medlin. And a very good start. And we told you Alex is the hottest Royals hitter. He's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot. 11-game hitting streak, the longest active streak in the big leagues. His .373 batting average, good for 8th in the American League. And he's ahead in the count now, 2 balls and a strike.
Gordon, a very high draft pick, along with those guys you were talking about, Chip, and actually was trying to break into the big leagues as a 3rd baseman, and that wasn't working. And they actually sent him back to the minor leagues to Omaha to play the outfield, and that's been what got him going. Pretty good breaking ball there. Looked like a strike.
Angel Hernandez is the home plate umpire, and it forces a full count pitch to Alex Gordon. It's out of play. You're right. This guy's gone from 3rd base to the minor leagues to left field, and now with 2 Gold Gloves to his credit already.
Yeah, I'd say that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, a lot of guys, they don't want to make that move, but when they do and do it like this guy has, it was a blessing in disguise for sure.
In the air to center, but that's playable for B.J. Upton. The ball carries out onto the warning track. And Gordon is out number 1. Here's a look at the rest of the Braves defense tonight. B.J. Upton flanked by Justin in left, Jason in right, Chris Johnson and Juan Francisco on the corners, Simmons and Ugla up the middle, and Evan Gaddis, of course, is back behind the plate tonight.
I remember another guy made a pretty good transition from the infield to the outfield, Ron Gant.
Yes, he did. Not Gold Glove type, but certainly was thing that kind of turned his career around.
Alcides Escobar swings the first pitch and pops it up to Anderson Simmons. And Medlin will take that. 2 quick outs. Eric Hosmer's the Kansas City first baseman. He missed the last couple of games for the Royals with a quadriceps problem. Batting .276 with 4 RBIs.
Yeah, and I asked that with Billy Butler, last year's Edgar Martinez Award winner in the American League as the outstanding DH, if there was some thought given to Butler playing first tonight in light of the quadricep problems for Hosmer, and the answer was no, but he will play first tomorrow with a left-hander pitching.
And that left-hander will be Mike Minor for the Braves. 12:10 first pitch. If you haven't made your plans, come on out and play hooky with us as the Braves and Royals wrap up this series. Fly ball to left by Hosmer. Justin going back, turns and twists, makes the grab, and Medlin gets him 1-2-3 on 11 pitches in tonight's opening inning at Turner Field. First inning. Now tonight, Atlanta goes for its 10th consecutive victory. And the Toyota starting lineup shapes up this way with B.J. Upton, Jason Hayward, and Justin Upton. First, second, and third. Evan Gattis cleaned up in Washington. Dan Uggla, Juan Francisco, Chris Johnson had a super road trip. And, of course, Simmons and Medlin hit 8th and 9th tonight.
Right-hander Jeremy Guthrie on the mound for the Royals. He's 2-0 with a 3.5 ERA this year, coming off a win his last time out against the Twins. Very similar, eerily similar to Mr. Medlin. Over his last 13 starts, he's 7-0 with a 2.37 ERA, and the team is 12-1 in those starts.
Watch out with the first pitch to BJ. He really was aggressive in the last game over in Washington against the Nationals, and it served him well. Upton had 3 hits and scored a couple of runs. The Braves 9-0 victory. And now has a 1-1 count.
Four keys to success for Jeremy Guthrie. Number 1, turn and tuck. I'll explain in a second. Home run challenge. He's given up the 3rd most home runs, 59 of them since 2011, and the Braves off to a good long ball start.
Oh, good. Wow, what a play on the short hop.
It's one of those ones that, did he catch the ball or did the ball catch him?
Good play.
Real good play.
Line drive right field, but Jeff Francoeur is there for the Royals. Upton took a shot at right, and Frenchie made the play, 1 man down.
Dave Island, when he was the pitching coach for the Yankees, saw Jeremy Guthrie pitching for the Orioles. He said, man, I'd like to get my hands on that guy someday. Well, lo and behold, after a couple of trades, he winds up with Kansas City, and so does Dave Island as the pitching coach. And after struggling early last year, after the deal that brought him to Kansas City, he went to Island, who encouraged him to make a little better turn with his front shoulder and hip and tuck a little bit, and things have gone real well since then. In some people's view, it's made him a little more difficult to pick up, and the ball's getting on the hitters a little quicker, even though he's already a hard thrower in the 93 to 95 range.
Yeah, just that little turn hides the ball a little bit longer. Tougher for the hitters to find it.
Called strike to Jason Hayward, who's behind no balls, 2 strikes. Jason 2 for 19 at the plate on the road trip. The boy really sparkled with the glove in right field. Had a couple of key bases on balls in the Washington series. And he got jammed here and pops it into shallow right center field. Francoeur gallops in and puts that away, 2 down. Here's the rest of the Royals defense. Gordon, Kane, and Francoeur left to right in the outfield. Mike Moustakas is their third baseman. Chris Getz, a veteran second baseman, and Salvador Perez, one of the most talked about rookie or young catchers, I should say, in the American League, is behind the plate, finally healthy for the Royals. Here's Justin. Justin Upton at .348, 7 homers, 11 RBIs. Foul to the plate. It's 0-2.
Fastball, slider, changeup for Guthrie. That looked like a changeup there. Slider's good and hard too, somewhere in the 83 to 87 range. Originally from Ashland, Oregon.
One ball, 2 strikes. He's got to be thrilled to not have to deal with Colorado anymore. Guthrie was 3-9 with the Rockies last year before that big improvement with Kansas City. Acquired him for Jonathan Sanchez on July 20th. Sanchez was supposed to be a big part of the Royals' future, but last year was not a good one for him in Kansas City.
Didn't work out so well in Colorado either. He's now with Pittsburgh, and the Braves will see him on the next road trip.
Good at bat for Upton. Stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 call over the outside corner. Upton not sure about that. Guthrie has the game's first strikeout tonight. 3 up, 3 down, and the Braves first, and we head to the second inning scoreless. by Delta Airlines and by Ford. Off we go to the second inning. The 4, 5, 6 hitters are coming up for the Kansas City Royals. And on Jackie Robinson Day in Atlanta, yeah, a 10th straight win would be just fine indeed for the Braves, who have the best record in baseball at 11-1. Salvador Perez last year, 76 games, hit .301 with 11 home runs. He's only 22 years of age, out of Valencia, Venezuela. But they like this kid a lot.
Put up really good numbers when he's been in the lineup. Just staying in the lineup's been the hard part.
A quick strike from Chris Medlin. He's a big guy, too, listed at 6'3", 250 pounds.
They've been excited in Kansas City the last couple of years about the rise of their young players and the development of their team. And it was really a crushing blow to them last year when he suffered a knee injury that knocked him out for a lot of the season.
Yeah, last year a disappointing year in so many ways for Kansas City. 72 wins, 90 losses. And unbelievably, they lost their first 10 home games in a row. 2012.
That's a good way to turn the fan base on. Get the season started off
right
in a good way. Yikes.
But much better luck so far for the Royals, as Perez, a tough man to strike out, does here to start the second inning. That kid only struck out 27 times in 289 at bats last year.
Curveball got him, and a high one at that.
Yeah, took a little bit off and changed a little speed on that breaking ball, and that's what I think helped him get away with it, even though it was a little bit of a hanger.
Tom, there's a lot to like about Chris Medlin. Is there one thing that stands out that you appreciate the most?
I think for me it's his demeanor. He just goes about his business, and I think that's, certainly that's one thing I try to do an awful lot, but I think he's even a step better, it seems like, off the field, where you wouldn't even know he's playing in the big leagues. He's just having fun.
Up the middle, Ugla to his right, and a wide throw at first. And Lorenzo Cain, a speedy center fielder, is aboard on a Dan Ugla throwing error. Dan's fourth error of the season.
Tried to hurry it here because he knew that Cain gets down the line well, but Chris Johnson, even with his arm span, and he's just an inch shorter than Freddie Freeman, couldn't get to that one.
So keep an eye on Cain as Mike Moustakas digs in. He pops the first pitch out of play for a quick strike.
You guys going after the first pitch.
Well, Medlin's getting more and more comparisons to Greg Maddux, so that's how teams used to try to approach Greg. Look for that pitch to hit early in the count, because it might be the only one you get.
That's upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Moustakas, the second pick in the first round of the 2007 draft by the Royals. Hit 20 home runs last year for Kansas City, the first third baseman with the Royals to hit 20 or more since 1998. Still looking for his first this season.
A little better throw, might have picked Cain off there.
One ball, 2 strikes. out of play, foul by Moustakas. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped up toward third. Juan Francisco in foul ground is going to have a play, and he makes it. And that's the second out. And let's see what kind of reception Jeff Francoeur gets as he bats for the first time tonight. Jeff at 238 for the Royals. A homer, 2 RBIs. And he swings the first pitch and rolls out to short. Medlin pitches around the Dan Uggla throwing error. And we head to the bottom of the second. Still no score. Sports and outdoor leaderboard.
Best record in baseball, that run differential, plus 39. Don't just kind of go past that because that's huge. Offense has been good, but the pitching's been better.
Yeah, I mean, it really has been a team effort. They're doing everything that you would expect them to do. A lot of hype going into spring training about the offense. Certainly a lot of talk coming off of last season about the pitching staff, and neither aspects of those have been disappointing.
I'll let you think, but does this Braves club so far in 2013 remind you of any of the clubs you played on here in Atlanta? As big Evan Gattis takes a called strike to start the Braves second.
You know, it does. I forget what year it was. Maybe it was 98, one of those years that we seemed to have a really potent offense and scored some runs, and had a lot of home runs as well.
Were you here in 03?
No.
No?
No.
I think it's the best lineup since 03 that had Sheffield and Chipper.
That was a good lineup.
Yeah. And Andrew in the outfield. Vinny Castilla was on the team.
1-1 to Gattis. And that's off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. National media starting to take notice of Evan Gattis. He was even profiled in Forbes magazine last week. Some calling his the best story in baseball in the first weeks of the year. And he's worked the count. 3 balls and a strike. That's called strike 2. Full count now.
Pretty good pitch.
Pitcher's pitch there.
And so was that. And Evan knew it. Nice comeback by Guthrie, down 3 balls and a strike to strike out Evan Gattis. Delta Airlines, a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. We'll be back on the Delta Charter tomorrow after our day game with the Royals. Braves in the middle of a real interesting stretch on the schedule. 18 of 21 games on the road. After wrapping up a perfect 6-0 road trip, 2 quick ones here with the Royals. And then to Pittsburgh, Colorado, and Detroit.
So did you pack for 6 to come home for 2 to repack, or just pack for 2 weeks and you left your suitcase closed when you came home? Or did you even bring it home from the ballpark? Is it still here?
No, it went home. I joked with Joe on Sunday, I'll see you at the dry cleaners at 8 o'clock.
Boy, my dry cleaner lady, what a great job they did.
It really is one of those
full court press.
Well, you'd rather just stay on the road. It's almost more of a pain in the neck to come home.
Yeah, it's a little different, Tommy, packing for Miami for part of the trip than it is for Pittsburgh, Denver, and Detroit.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, Joe had a great idea. We can see if the league will go for it. And that was, we're going to petition the National League that the Braves play all of their road games the rest of the way in Miami. What do you think?
Just have everybody come there.
Hey, if you can pull it off, why not?
I know we draw better than they will.
Long throw from second, and just in time by Chris Getz to take care of Dan Ugla. He thought he beat it out. And a slow developing play nearly cost Guthrie his first hit allowed. 2 out.
Getz broke into the big leagues with the White Sox. Makes a nice play here, but he got a break on the call at first base by Doug Eddings. Dan beat that out, didn't he?
Looked like it.
But officially, Getz gets him. And here's Francisco. Wanted 273 with a homer. That came off the facade of the second deck in Miami. A mammoth shot down at Marlins Park. That one's down the right field line. Will it stay high enough? It will. Nothing on a Francisco solo shot to right.
Tom, remember how the ball sounded and how the ball jumped off the bat of Andres Galarraga?
Yes.
That big, strong dude. That's the way the ball sounds off Juan's bat.
Yeah, similar, very similar sound. I didn't know if it was going to stay fair. I thought he hit it too hard. He was going to hook it, but stayed just inside that foul pole. That's what is commonly referred to as a loud noise right there.
Yes, sir. And that's no man's land if you're pitching to one, too. Hard down and in.
Now Chris Johnson splits the right center field gap. Francoeur will try to cut it off. He will. Johnson's going to challenge his arm. The throw is late. Chris was thinking double out of the box and is rewarded with a 2-out hit.
Had 3 games on the road trip of 3 hits or more, and remember he had a 4-hit game Sunday, so that's 5 hits in his last 6 at bats.
Shades of spring training. Francisco gets a hit. Johnson gets a hit. Now if Andrelton can get one, the Braves could add to their 1-0 lead.
That's 8 out of his last 10.
First pitch swing rolled toward short. Escobar, momentary confusion, makes the play. And that will retire the side. The Braves have broken through in the second inning. They've given Chris Medlin an early 1-0 advantage. Don't have an awful lot of power so far this season. That's not a problem for the Braves, as you'll see on our Ram Trucks power stats.
How about this number? All-time National League best home run differential through 12 games. They tied the 55 Brooklyn Dodgers with a +14 through 12 games. I'd say that's pretty good. And that's, of course, your home runs versus your opponents. Wow, speaking of Jackie Robinson, what a great comparison.
So that laser into the seats in right has given Medlin a 1-0 lead, and he's got the 8, 9, and 1 hitters up for the Royals. Again, an interleague play. The home team ballpark is the set of rules by which the game is played, meaning the Royals don't have a designated hitter. Their pitcher has to hit. And Jeremy Guthrie's on deck behind Chris Getz, who's off to a 3-0-6 start. And he takes a shot to right field, and he's going to hit one out of the ballpark. Wow, a towering home run by Getz. And boy, did he break a huge dry spell with the long ball.
Longest dry spell in the major leagues. 954 at bats since his last home run.
Well, it wasn't a cheapie. He's been saving up for that one.
I guarantee he's going to be happy to see that line leave the stat sheet for the Royals.
His first homer since 2009 when he was with the White Sox. And here's the irony. Did you hear who his last home run came against? Jeremy Guthrie. And he just got catcher's interference on Gaddis.
Here's the home run swing. Fastball about letter high. There was no doubt about it.
So So 1 in, 1 on, nobody out in the top of the order for Alex Gordon. And a double play ball hit out to Dan Uggla. Simmons with a quick turn. Boy, is he fun to watch around the second base bag or what?
Just never seems to get in a hurry. That's what I like. Nice job by the pitcher. Try to take him out too.
Almost took himself out, but
You know,
gotta start that slide a little bit sooner.
Alcides Escobar. He was part of a big trade made with the Milwaukee Brewers. Escobar and Lorenzo Cain and others for Zach Greinke. And he takes a shot at right, fouls it off and into the seats. 0-2.
177 hits last year. That was a record for most hits by a shortstop in Kansas City history.
And a swing and a miss will retire Escobar. Well, Chris Getz has had himself quite a night. A towering home run to right field ties the game in the middle of our third inning at 1.
From our Home Depot tools in the dugout, 900 at bats between home runs. You wonder if the guy's even remembers how to trot, but he's got a good trot working here.
Yeah, that was good.
Maybe like because he hit it so far, he knew it.
Yeah, they look like he's done it before, but it's been a while.
And a lot of smiles in the dugout. That's good for him.
And a great irony, as we said. Home run number 2 in Getz's career came against his starting pitcher Jeremy Guthrie back in 2009. So now the pressure's on Medlin. See if he can lead off this Atlanta third in good shape. Chris 0 for 4 so far on the season. And a little pop fly to shallow right, but that's going to be playable for Francoeur, and he's got it. 1 down. Jeff's got a lot of friends at the ballpark tonight. About 30 tickets for friends. He's got 14 family members here, and the entire Parkview High School baseball team is out in right field in support of the Royals right fielder. And a foul ball by B.J. Upton. For more on Francoeur's big pass list, let's check in with Tom Hart.
It was also a busy household last night, Chip. He invited the team over to his house, and everything was fine and dandy for the barbecue, but for the transportation, they had to park the team bus right out in front.
Bet the neighbors love that.
Only there for a short time. Hang with them.
Up and in, 2 balls and a strike.
That's always the catch-22 about coming home to play. There's always that anticipation of being there, but man, you fret over all the tickets you got to leave and how you're going to get them and where you're going to get them.
Jeff said before the game he was able to get about 40 tickets or so. But for the other 60 folks who came to the game, he said, you got to buy them. You're on your own. We've got a nice crowd here tonight. Good ball game underway as Upton walks with 1 out.
Some other good news in the Francoeur household. He and wife Katie expecting their first baby due the end of July, so congratulations to them on that.
Jason 0 for 1. He flied out to right, back in the Braves first. And a close play over at first. B.J. Upton had a pretty good lead over there. Got to keep an eye on Perez too behind the plate. He is not afraid to throw to the bases. He picked off 5 runners last season.
Close play over there. I know it doesn't look like much, but BJ doesn't walk that often. Didn't walk at all in spring training, remember? He did draw a walk in game 2 of the series in Washington, his next to last at bat. And then Sunday wound up with 3 hits. I think he's beginning to see the ball better. The appearance is that.
Hayward takes a shot to left. But that's tracked down on the warning track by Gordon. And BJ is back to first with 2 out.
And I always feel that when a hitter sees the ball a little deeper into counts, they're picking the ball up better out of the pitcher's hands, so they're not quite as anxious and chasing as many bad pitches. So another walk here tonight, that's, again, a good sign.
And Joe, it seems like he's settled in nicely in the number 1 spot in the batting order. His batting average leading off for the Braves is .280. He's hitting .163 or thereabouts for the entire year.
I like him there. I think the luxury that Freddie has is go with a hot hand. Whoever's getting on base the most right now, you get an alternative in Simmons if you want it.
Justin Upton took a called 3rd strike in his first at bat. He's 0 for 1. And this one popped up behind first. Gets going out at second. Plenty of room near the line. And he makes the play to retire the side. 4th inning rolls around in Atlanta. Still tied 1-1. tonight.
Really no doubters on both of them. A line rocket that hooked around the pole for Juan Francisco. 1-0 Atlanta. And then out of nowhere, Chris Getz jumped on a high fastball and hit his first homer in about 900 plus at bats to tie it up. A little side note though on Juan's home run. Now we showed you the guys from Parkview out there in right field that Jeff paid for the high school team to come to the game. Check them out up there in the orange. Now they love Jeff Francoeur, but you know where their loyalties are.
Yeah, loyalty only goes so far. Thanks for the tickets, Jeff. Now we're in a building. We're rooting for the Braves.
Yeah.
So Medlin back to work with the 3, 4, 5 hitters for Kansas City. That's Hosmer, Perez, and Lorenzo Cain. Guys, this is a different looking Kansas City ball club. They're young, they're athletic. I think you could say in some ways they're maybe an American League version of the Braves ball club this year. They've really upped their payroll. They dramatically altered their starting pitching staff. And it's been a long, long time since the Royals were in the playoffs. And they begin play tonight, as we mentioned, tied for first in the American League Central.
Dayton Moore has been in with the club as a GM for 6 years and had a plan in place, and basically they knew they were going to take some lumps. But they drafted well, they've developed young players, and those guys have worked their way to the big leagues. And part of the plan was that once those guys get here and get established, get a little experience under the belt, then we will bring in who we need to bring in pitching wise to complement it. And they've done that with Shields, Davis, who we'll see tomorrow, and Santana.
Yeah, I think I like most people, haven't watched too many Kansas City Royal games, and only having to come down here and do this game and do a little research. They got some good players. They got some good young players on this team, some guys you can build around, and they've revamped their starting rotation, which is much improved over last year, and they just need a little bit of power.
Over the outside corner, Hosmer is caught looking. Third strikeout for Medlin, one away in the 4th inning. All year long, Braves baseball on Fox Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. 27 years in a row for the Royals without making the playoffs. But people may not realize this, especially young fans like those. There was a time where the Kansas City Royals were the Atlanta Braves of the American League. I mean, they were an elite major league franchise.
Yeah, late 70s to the mid 80s and a little beyond that. The American League West, they dominated. Won the World Championship in '85.
And so now we'll see if all the lumps and all the hard work and all the high draft choices pay dividends for the Royals this year and going forward, as they'll try to topple the Tigers. As Perez bounces one foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Salvador Perez riding a 6-game hitting streak for Kansas City. Bounces this one to third. Long throw across the diamond. High throw, bad throw. Braves are throwing the baseball all over the diamond so far. That's their 3rd error. 2 throwing errors, one by Uggla, one by Francisco, and of course the catcher's interference is an error on Evan Gattis.
And both throwing errors have been on long throws. And this one was airmailed again over a 6'3" first baseman. Position players, young position players, to me, are the hardest to project. Young pitchers, you know they've got good stuff. You can see what they can do at AA, AAA against some veteran players that are maybe trying to fight their way back to the big leagues. And I'm not saying it's easier to project pitching. I'm just saying that even when you get a good young position player to the big leagues, and I use Jason Hayward as an example. Great rookie year, not so good sophomore year. And then you're kind of wondering, okay, who is this guy? Is he the first-year player or the second-year player? And the Royals have had that same thing happen to them with several players.
And so this is one of them.
Yeah, it hasn't happened automatically as soon as they get here and develop them. That experience factor has to work its way into their system too.
Lorenzo Cain's 26. Actually just turned 27. He was the starting center fielder for the Royals on opening day, but played just 61 times last year. Injured a groin muscle. Missed 78 games for Kansas City. Another former Brewer in that Zach Greinke trade. And that's the other thing. You can have all the great players you want, but if they can't stay on the field, they can't develop.
This guy was on the Braves' radar just a few years ago while he was still with Milwaukee. At the trading deadline, when names are being thrown around, I remember his name prominently in some talks.
He was born in Valdosta, grew up in Madison, Florida. Went to Madison County High School, and he didn't play organized baseball until his sophomore year in high school.
So you don't have to play year-round.
You don't? Seems like you do nowadays.
Strike three called at the knees.
What'd you call it? Pitcher's pitch?
Pitcher's pitch. That's the one you practice in the bullpen.
Chris Johnson and Medlin making sure they know how to play Moustakas here, with catcher Perez leading from first and 2 outs. Moustakas popped up to third his first time. Didn't get the changeup. Strike one.
He's been aggressive on the first pitch, both at bats, and has been in a slump and chased a bad ball there. He's 0 for his last 14.
Lined over the glove of Dan Uggla. And Moustakas aboard with a 2-out hit.
I know that's the catcher, that's the lead runner. And as you said, Chip, 6'3" and 250, but with 2 out and crack of the bat, guys usually taking off. And Jason did a great job of getting to that ball quickly and making him realize, if you try to go to third, I'm going to throw you out. And would have.
Francoeur swung at the first pitch, bounced out short to end the Kansas City second. He's got 2 on, 2 out here. And took a fastball strike. Well, Chris has had the ball down and on the corners in the early going, with the exception of the pitch hit out by Getz.
Now, even though it's a tie game right now and he gave up the homer, it's a much better start, much better beginning to this start than the first 2. Command wise, sharpness of his breaking ball, good changeup.
At the knees, strike 2 call.
Some of that wanting to slow things down in Chris's mind could be just the anticipation and excitement of starting the year in the rotation. He hasn't done it in a while. When you put a big premium on getting off to a good start, and you got to settle that down a little bit in your mind.
And his standards were so incredibly high too. We were talking, Joe and I, were his first 2 starts. It's not like he pitched poorly, but he didn't pitch like Chris Medlin did in September.
Right. He's created that. I say monster in a fun way, but he's created that monster where people expect, Medlin's on the mound, the Braves going to win, and he's going to deal. Well, it's not that easy. What he did and has done has been pretty special.
Lined into center field, a base hit for Francoeur. Perez will come around and score. Headed toward third is Moustakas, and a big hit for Jeff Francoeur has given Kansas City an early lead of 2-1, and they cash in the throwing error by Juan Francisco.
A lot of fastballs in that at bat, and one too many.
Yeah, Jeff's had some success against Chris, 3 for 6 in his career. So I wonder if based off of that they changed something in the scouting report and just stayed predominantly with fastballs. I don't know, but you don't typically see Chris throw that many fastballs in an at bat.
Snaps an 0 for 9 for Jeff.
His third RBI now gets bats. Entering tonight, Chris Getz had the second longest homerless drought in the major leagues. Ben Revere, 1,043 games without a homer.
This is a clash of two numbers here that the Royals won. They are second in the major leagues hitting with runners in scoring position. Chris Medlin with runners in scoring position and 2 out last year. Batters were 0 for 24. These are the Medlin numbers. The 194 number was 4 for 44 coming into the game tonight.
Getz took some punishment on that foul ball at the plate.
Off the calf. Of that 350 batting average for the Royals, a 222 average with 2 outs. That's pretty good.
One ball, 2 strikes. Moustakas at third, Francoeur at first. Kansas City is up 2-1. Inside, evens it up. Interesting road trip for the Royals. They're in Atlanta, they go to Boston, then they go to Detroit. And the other oddity is they were off yesterday, they're off Thursday, and they're off again Monday. All smiles as they're leading in the 4th inning. Runner at first goes and a swing and a miss. Getz didn't get the changeup, and that'll retire the side. Braves got to clean up the defense. They've made 3 errors in the first 4 innings, but only trail by a run. 5 and 6 hitters coming up against Jeremy Guthrie. And Tommy, we need some help. We're in an awful slump. And trivia, you know all about it.
I'll say.
Our AT&T Universe trivia question: who was the last Royal with a 30 home run season?
I can't believe you guys had an opportunity to get the answer right with your good old partner here the other night, and you didn't think about answering it.
No, you're right. We felt bad about it too.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss by Gaddis, strike one.
Because you got it wrong, or because I started blowing you up with text messages afterwards?
And we went out in the hall afterwards, and Smoltz was working. He goes, "How in the world could you pick me?"
Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. That's right there. It's 1 and 2. Gaddis had 7 hits on the road trip. 3 of them were homers.
Guthrie's throwing hard. He's getting in on some right-handers' hands too. Maybe it is a little hard to pick up that fastball now.
Trying to drop down, and Gaddis was right on it.
He's done that 2 or 3 times. Not going to make that guy flinch.
Good eye, evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Down the right field line, but slicing foul off the bat of Evan Gaddis. So the last Royal to hit 30 homers. Remember, they've remodeled Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Was it a big ballpark in your day, Joe?
Oh yeah, it was. Not a home run hitting ballpark. Team was built for speed on the artificial surface and spacious park.
So Tom,
So I'm not going to guess Steve Bye Balboni, but
no,
but I've got him in reserve.
Swing and a miss, and Gaddis is down on strikes. 1 up, 1 down. Watch the Braves face the Mets on Saturday, May 4th, alongside Braves great John Smoltz in the Legend Suite. Ticket packages get you access to the suite, a $30 added value, and a parking pass. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to join the Henny Youngman of baseball. John Smoltz. Visit Braves.com/suites or call 404-614-1493.
That call at first base that went against Dan in his first at bat, kind of in keeping with the way his luck's been going. He's hit some balls on the nose on the last road trip and didn't get any hits to show for it. There's that play at first. Foot on the bag. Ball not in the glove yet.
And the shame of that is Francisco followed with a home run. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
See, that was a fastball, 93. Looked like it had a lot of the plate, but seemed to kind of surprise Dan.
I don't know if he's changing, if he's going to a 4-seamer to a 2-seamer or what, but that's 3 in a row in the 94, 95, 91. So he's either intentionally taking a little off or throwing a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer.
Now he's run the count full. And an off-speed pitch retires Dan Uggla. Back-to-back strikeouts in the Atlanta 4th. 2 up, 2 down, and it's time for our Yellowwood bringing the lumber.
Man, that was some loud lumber. It sounded like a hammer hitting some lumber. Juan Francisco's second homer of the year.
Ball one. That's back to the mound, and Guthrie's got it and makes the peg first. 3 up, 3 down. He has a shutdown inning and leads 2-1 after 4 in Atlanta. Fifth inning rolls around. Chris Medlin facing his mound opponent, Jeremy Guthrie. And a first pitch swing results in a rollout to the shortstop, Anderson Simmons. 1 up, 1 down as we enjoy our Blimpie game summary.
Home runs, the story of the ball game early on. Home runs from Francisco and Chris Getz made it 1-1, but Rays defense has been very porous tonight. They've made 3 errors, and the last one cost them an unearned run there in the top of the 4th. 2-1 to score.
And now the top of the order is coming up for the Royals. It's Alex Gordon. Medlin's pitched a very, very good ball game. 5 strikeouts so far tonight. And facing a Kansas City offense, it's really Jekyll and Hyde as far as their run production is concerned. They've been outscored in the first 4 innings, but they've really dominated the opposition from the 5th inning on. Here we are, 5th inning, with the Royals up 2-1.
You know, the 5 strikeouts to this point, a little bit of a change for Chris. He hasn't had as many strikeouts in a lot of his games so far this year, and it was something I talked to him a little bit about before the game, and he said he's perfectly fine with it. If he can go out there and have 3 pitches and 3 outs, he has no problem not having strikeouts.
Did he go? And the appeal to third, no swing. Gordon's still alive.
Good example of their 5th inning on work was a game in Philadelphia. They took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies in Philadelphia earlier. And one game they were trailing Cole Hamels and the Phillies 4-0 and came back to win that game big. They scored 10 runs.
And one other reason why that run differential has been so big for them as a vastly improved strikeout filled bullpen for Kansas City. So from 0-2 to 3-2, and Gordon puts it in play and lines to left. Justin has it, 2 out. Here's Escobar. He's popped out and struck out. "26 years old on opening day out of La Sabana, Venezuela. Hit .293 last year, but also made 19 errors. This one up the middle. Simmons glides, grabs, guns, and gets his man. 1-2-3 for Medlin, who's due third in the Braves' half of inning number 5. It's 2-1 Kansas City.
Field. It will be a challenging road trip for the Royals when they leave here tomorrow and head to Boston, not just because of who they're playing, but when and where.
Obviously, it's not the magnitude of September 11th, and I never want to compare that because that was unbelievable. But, you know, when you go back in a situation like that and you're the first game played there, you know, I'm sure there's going to be some ceremonies and some different stuff that, you know, I'm sure it's going to bring some tears to your eyes. You know, it was sad watching that on the news yesterday, just seeing it. You know, we had it on all day. But, you know, it's something that's going to happen, and you know, I don't know what to expect when we get up there because, you know, they're using the hotel we stay in right now as their command center. So it's definitely going to be interesting when we go there.
And, guys, he'll rely on his Braves experience. He also told me before the game that he remembers well Bobby Cox and Chipper Jones talking about the Braves' first game back after the 9/11 attacks at Shea Stadium, and that was a game both Bobby and Chipper said they did not mind losing.
Chris Johnson, a slow roller, hit out toward third. Nice play made by Moustakas. And one away in the Atlanta fifth.
Tommy is a Boston native. I'm sure that this hit very close to home for you too.
No, it did. I mean, you hate seeing it, obviously, and then your immediate reaction is, okay, where is everybody? You know, my brother's not far from there at Northeastern coaching. I've got a couple of my nieces and nephews that work in there. So I mean, that's your first thought is, all right, you got to get everybody accounted for, and you know, once you have that, then look, like all of us, your thoughts drift to the poor people that were involved and the families that were torn apart, and it's a gut-wrenching thing, and I don't know there's anything we can say or do to make it better or feel what those people are feeling. But Jeff's right. When we went back to New York after September 11th, it was unbelievable in a lot of ways. But the emotion in that stadium, that first game, really was off the charts, and we didn't mind losing that game at all.
That's outside to Andrelton Simmons. Of course, in baseball, the Yankees and Red Sox have as fierce a rivalry as any two franchises can have. Boston is on the road tonight, but the Yankees are home and playing the Arizona Diamondbacks. If you've been to Fenway Park and have watched the Red Sox play late in the ball game, they play or have played in the past Neil Diamond's song Sweet Caroline. That's what the Yankees are going to play on their home field tonight in support of the people in Boston. As Simmons rolls to short, and there's the faulty glove of Escobar. Routine play, and he botched it. So it's Kansas City's turn to kick the ball around, their first error of the night. And Simmons represents the game-tying run.
It didn't look like the ball came up on him as much as it just played his glove away from the ball. That's his second error, but that went off his thumb.
Let's see if Medlin and the Braves can cash it in. That one off the glove of Perez. Medlin tried to bunt, or was going to try to bunt, nearly got hit. And no swing, so ball one to Medlin. Simmons at second base.
Wild pitch and a beauty. Angel Hernandez is fortunate that Perez got a little bit of leather on it to deflect it away from him.
That right there is the sole reason why I bunted the way that I did, and Medlin is very similar. I was never, there are a lot of guys like Greg Maddux used to square all the way around. And that was the one thing I was always afraid of, and why I didn't do it, is because when a ball's thrown at you like that, you got nowhere to go. At least when you do that little pivot, you still got a little, or at least I felt like I had a little bit of sense of athleticism in my stance that I could get out of the way if I had to. That's a bad feeling when you're squared around a bunt and the ball's coming right at your chest.
It just keeps chasing you.
2 balls, no strikes. Medlin pops it into shallow left. That'll be playable for Gordon. And that's the second out. Let's see if B.J. Upton can bring home Simmons with a 2-out hit. B.J.'s lined out and walked tonight. First pitch swing and a fly ball right center. But Cannon Francoeur there, and Jeff Francoeur takes over, and that retires the side. The Braves can't cash in Kansas City's 5th inning error, and to the 6th we go, a 2-1 Royals lead.
to you in part by Blimpie, by the Georgia Lottery, by the Home Depot, and by Toyota.
We're through 5 already tonight. 2-1's your score. Kansas City enjoys the lead over Chris Medlin. And a quick turnaround for game 2 of the series here tomorrow. Here are our Chevron upcoming starters.
Wade Davis, part of the trade with Tampa Bay, spent last year in the bullpen but had been a starter for them. And they were happy to get him and put him in their rotation.
Yeah, the Royals gave up a kid named Will Myers to Tampa Bay to get James Shields and Wade Davis. Tampa Bay off to a disappointing start in the American League. Having trouble scoring runs. Might see Will Myers with the big league club sooner rather than later for Tampa Bay.
Might see David Price on the trading block a little sooner than they expected too.
Yeah. Hosmer 0 for 2. And now behind 1 ball 2 strikes. .74 pitches for Medlin. 56 strikes. He jammed Hosmer and he pops it into shallow center. BJ's got it. 1 up, 1 down in the top of the 6th inning. Braves 5-game packs are a great way to catch your red hot Braves in action all season long. Select 5 games of your choice and enjoy savings of up to $4 off the gate price on each ticket. Get a 5-game plan today by going to Braves.com/5game or calling 404-577-9100. First pitch swing by Perez. They are aggressive early in the count, and that plays right into Medlin's hands. Tommy, something you talked about earlier tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean he's established himself obviously as a guy that throws a lot of strikes, and from the get-go, Kansas City's been going out there and swinging at the first pitch. He made the one mistake early on the home run, but yeah, it fits right into his game plan. He's not concerned about the strikeouts. They'll come when they come, but in the meantime, perfectly fine with pitching this kind of a ball game. Low pitch count, getting deep into the game, and getting a lot of early easy outs.
Lorenzo Cain, the hitter, he's 0 for 2. You haven't made plans to join us tomorrow. The next opportunity to see the Braves at Turner Field will be at the end of the month. April 29th, the Nationals are in for the first of a 4-game series. Then the Mets are here, and then we're right back on the road again.
Shocker.
A 10-game trip to Cincinnati, San Francisco, and Arizona.
You guys must have a lot of home games coming up somewhere. Second half of the year.
Home a lot in July and August.
Perfect.
Won't have even heated up by then, right, Tommy?
That's when you want to be on the West Coast in July and August.
We'll even make our first trip to Kansas City. Joe's looking forward to that on the 25th and 6th of June.
Yeah, Braves haven't been there, right?
No, never been there. Can't wait to see all the changes to Kauffman Stadium, improvements they've made. It's a beautiful ballpark. For those that haven't seen it, it's gorgeous.
The importance of that trip is after that Royals series in Kansas City, that's as far west as the Braves go the rest of the year.
That's nice.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Cain.
Just to get back to Kansas City, get some of that Kansas City barbecue, go to Stroud's, have dinner on that off night.
Line into right field on a 2-2 count by Cain. And that'll bring up Moustakas, who singled with 2 outs his last time up. Fourth hit for Kansas City. Each team's left 3 on base to this point. in the air center field. That's pretty well hit. But BJ's got a beat on it. Makes the play to retire the side. The Braves are down a skinny run. And our Delta on deck hitters, the 2, 3, 4 batters against Jeremy Guthrie, Jason Hayward, Justin Upton, and Evan Gattis. Try to get this game evened up. By Ram Trucks, by Crown Royal, and by AT&T. 2-1 your score, bottom of the 6th inning. Good crowd tonight here in Atlanta. Let's see if the Braves offense can get on track with Jason Hayward. And strike one from Jeremy Guthrie. Remember, Guthrie 2-0 coming into play tonight and has won his last 7 decisions dating back to last August. He is their version of Chris Medlin, at least since the latter half of last year.
He's thrown the ball well. He's been impressive.
Jason pops this ball up over by the Braves dugout. That's going to be in the seats. We're going to swing on the house here. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And another fastball that tied up a hitter. His first start was against the White Sox in Chicago. 6 innings. He only gave up 1 run. He struck out 9. And his last start against Minnesota, he got touched up a little bit, gave up 4 runs in 6 2/3 innings, and only struck out 2.
And Jason is down on strikes. 1 out.
Time for Georgia Power Energy Tip number 2. Georgia Power customers can take advantage of Georgia Power's refrigerator recycling program. Free pickup for your second working refrigerator or freezer. Plus, you get $50.
5 strikeouts for Guthrie. Here's Upton. Justin has struck out and popped out tonight. Both these guys pumping the strike zone with the first pitch.
Guthrie reminds me of somebody with his motion, and I can't put my finger on it. I had Chad Billingsley in mind at first, but that's not it. The way he drops his hands.
Javi Vasquez.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, his turn has a little bit of Halliday in it, doesn't it? Just a touch.
Mm-hmm.
But the hand drop, you're right. It reminds me of somebody else too, and I can't think of who it is.
15 of 21 first pitch strikes for the Royals starter tonight. And he's 0-2 ahead of Justin. Off the plate, he didn't offer. 1-2 now.
Just as impressively to me has been, I know he's done it at least twice tonight, throwing that 3-2 slider for strike 3. And I wonder, has that been the reason for his turnaround, or was his turnaround giving him the confidence to be able to make those pitches?
Well, you pointed out, Tom, that he's been throwing 93 consistently, but then there's a 90. And then maybe that is a two-seamer. It's not really that much sinking action. It's just putting a little on, taking a little off.
Roll to the left side. Tough hop handled. Nice play, Moustakas. And that's the second out. Well, Guthrie first broke in with the Cleveland Indians. As you see the play at the hot corner. And then went to Baltimore. Had a 10-12, 10-17, 11-14, and 9-17 run of seasons. Then went to Colorado, and then finally found his way to Kansas City. Hot shot, just foul past third base. My question is for you, Tommy. Baltimore, small ballpark. Colorado can make a mess of your mechanics and your stuff. If getting out of there and going to Kansas City in a big ballpark, would that be instrumental in his turnaround?
Well, it certainly isn't going to hurt. I mean, we talked about his penchant for giving up home runs. Well, yeah, when you're pitching in Baltimore and Colorado, you're going to give up some home runs. So that can play on your mind a little bit, and then you get in a little bit more pitcher-friendly ballpark like Kansas City. It'll do some things for your confidence.
Just short. Escobar's got it. And it's 1, 2, 3 and out for the Braves in inning number 6. Bottom of the order up for Kansas City. They lead game 1 of the series 2-1. Times baseball is a game often of subtle adjustments, and Chris Medlin says one suggested by Roger McDowell is instrumental in this incredible run as a starting pitcher.
He changed my career. I mean, I used to be on the far right side of the rubber when I my first couple starts, and moved me over to the left side, and it's kind of changed my arsenal. And just me personally, I mean, he communicates well, and as a coach, I think that's huge to have is the communication with the players. You know, a lot of players don't necessarily have that, and we're just lucky enough to have him here and have him communicating as much as he does.
Roger's certainly done a great job with this pitching staff since he's been here, and you know the guys all love him. He's got a great reputation with all of them. He's helpful with all of them, and much like that relationship that Bobby Cox has with his players, these guys want to go out there and fight hard and pitch hard for Roger.
Well, Jeff Rancour's had a happy homecoming. His RBI single broke a 1-1 tie. His third run batted in of the season. Pitcher's spot is due third for the Royals in this 7th inning, and their bullpen has begun to work. Francisco grabs this one and makes the play for out number 1. So, Tommy, let's show the fans at home with video the subtle change Medlin was speaking of.
Yeah, you see on the left-hand side, that's where he started when he first came up. So kind of more in the middle of the rubber to start out. When he takes his turn, he's going to end up more on the third base side of the dugout or of the rubber. Now you see on the right-hand side, he's starting on the far side, on his glove side, more towards the first base dugout. And all that really does is it gives him a better angle to the strike zone. And you'll see a lot of guys who are fastball, sinker, changeup kind of guys be on the glove side of the rubber because it keeps their arm angled towards the plate better, and it keeps their pitches in the zone longer.
Risk gets skies one to left. And quickly 2 outs.
And you know, and I say that it's not always just keeping that pitch in the zone longer. For a guy like Medlin, a guy like myself, I was the opposite. It gives the hitter the appearance that ball is staying in the strike zone longer. So when it comes out of the pitcher's hand to the hitter, a lot of times that ball looks like it's right down the middle. Then you get a little bit of movement, a little bit of sink, or a change of speed, and then it finishes out of the zone. It's hard to make the adjustment on it. Now, conversely, you'll see guys who are more breaking ball pitchers. They'll be on their arm side because they want to throw more across their body and get over that front leg a little bit more.
So Guthrie stays in the game. Ned Yost tried to manipulate the lineup card, but why take Guthrie out? He's given up 1 run in 6 innings. He's thoughtfully sharp. In fact, he's held the Braves to only 2 hits so far in this game.
They were back-to-back hits in the 2nd inning.
Another chance for Francisco. He paused a moment, and Guthrie's going to have an infield hit. Juan think that ball was going to bounce foul? It didn't.
Well, one of 2 things there. The pitcher's running. Either come get it and try to throw him out, or if you feel like you're not going to have a play, at least let it roll out and see what happens. Chances are good that was going to stay fair.
Yeah, but like you say, if you're not going to make a throw, you might as well just let it roll and see if maybe you get lucky. It hits a rock or a piece of dirt. Well, Ed doesn't have any rocks on this field, I guarantee you that. Piece of dirt, maybe.
Tom, speaking of Ed Mankin, the head groundskeeper here, of course. Here's Gordon, top of the order, 0 for 3. Let's see if running the base paths here for Guthrie has any help for the Braves in the bottom of this 7th inning.
I was going to say, maybe that was part of the plan. Give him a hit, let him run the bases a little bit, and get him tired.
Off the plate, ball 2. Another tight game for Kansas City. They've already played 5 one-run games this year.
Alex Gordon was an all-world, all-universe collegiate player at the University of Nebraska. Won all the outstanding player awards in the Big 8, Big 12.
On a 3-0 count, he got the green light and singles sharply into right field. Back-to-back Royals hits with 2 outs. And that gives him a 12-game hitting streak.
Mentioned that he was a high draft choice. How about the 2nd pick right behind Justin Upton in 2005? You see the comparisons between the 2 guys. Similar number of games. They both got to the big leagues pretty fast. Although Gordon had been a collegiate player, Upton came out of high school.
.95 pitches for Medlin. He scattered 6 hits. The Braves bullpen has begun to work. And Escobar, the hitter, who's 0 for 3. It's Corey Guerin beginning to loosen.
90 pitches his last time out in Miami.
Again, a first pitch swing. This one fouled away to the right. Strike 1 to Escobar. That's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Line down the left field line. And that's into the second row of seats foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got away with a bad changeup there.
Yeah, I think that one leaked back over the plate a little bit. So, this is where you have that little cat and mouse as a pitcher. You threw him a changeup and he pulled it foul, but it wasn't the one you wanted to throw. So now you start trying to guess, okay, what's the hitter thinking? Does he think, well, I went changeup, so I'm going to come back with something hard in, which guys typically do? And as a pitcher, you're thinking, and I used to anyway, man, that was not a good changeup. It wasn't the way I wanted to. I know I could throw it better than that, so see if Chris will double up with it.
Slow roller hit out towards short. Simmons has it, throws to first in time, and that'll retire the side. Back-to-back hits for the Royals, but no more runs. 7th inning stretch time in Atlanta. Dan Uggla leads things off for the Braves, who are down 2-1. Tonight so far for Chris Medlin. Let's see if the Braves can get something going here in the 7th inning. All year long, Braves baseball on Fox Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine, Tom Hart, yours truly, Chip Carey, here in Atlanta, where we feel very, very confident about tonight's AT&T Universe trivia question. Very confident.
Well, we came up with some other names between innings. Bob Hamlin was a good choice. And some Amos Otis and some George Brett, of course. But how about former Brave Jermaine Dye?
I forgot about Jermaine Dye.
That's my answer.
And before we give the answer again, name the last Royal to record a 30 home run season or better. So you're going with Jermaine Dye? Jermaine Dye. I'm going to go Bob Hamlin just to change it up, cover our bases. Let's see if we're right. He's back and in the win column. It's just shocking.
I mean, the intelligence level rose when I walked in here, and it's your first one you guys got right.
No.
Osmosis.
Second.
Second one.
It did rise, but I thought that was because you were walking in behind Dave Baker. Okay, maybe not.
So Jermaine Dye is the answer to the trivia question tonight. Let's see if Dan Uggla can get something started. Again, Guthrie was on the base paths for 4 or 5 minutes. And a broken bat liner to third takes care of Uggla. Boy, he has hit atom balls at people. Had a missed call at first base, cost him an infield hit tonight. And he's 0 for 3.
He's got to get some guys on base. He's certainly not cooperating by walking anybody. He's getting ahead of hitters. A lot of broken bats tonight.
Atlanta with 2 hits, as Joe mentioned. They were back-to-back hits in the second. Since then, Braves have gotten 1 walk and an E6. That's it.
This is how the Braves got on the board. Line shot homer from Juan, the second of the year.
High fly ball center. King going back at the wall. It's gone. When you pitch as well as Medlin does, what a lift that's got to be, Tommy.
No, absolutely it is. Look, he's giving the guys a chance and looking for somebody to pick him up. And Francisco did it in the second inning and got a pitch there that he just hammered to center field.
And atones for that error that cost Medlin an unearned run in the 4th.
Chris Johnson, a blooper down the first base line and foul for strike 1. It's the first career multi-homer game for Juan Francisco tonight.
Fastball down and out over the plate this time. He hit it where it was pitched.
One of the few mistakes he's made tonight, but both of them to Francisco, and he didn't miss them.
Fired up Chris. Fired up this crowd too.
Strike 1 to Chris Johnson. Chris doubled with 2 outs in the second inning.
I got Med off the hook. Now see if they can get him a win.
Liner foul to the right side. You mentioned the crowd into it. It's a good crowd. 26,400 officially.
Good job by Johnson there to hang in there when Guthrie dropped down on him, fired a crossfire fastball, able to fight it off.
Oh. Did Johnson offer that ball? Apparently so. Angel Hernandez is saying that's a swing. And Freddie Gonzalez is going to come argue. They will apply the tag. And Johnson's going to be called out. And Freddie's going to argue. That ball hit Chris, but it appeared he did try to swing.
Yeah, it looked like he was swinging. From Freddie's viewpoint, it probably looked like he was just trying to get out of the way, stop his swing and get out of the way, but not from this angle. Chris has done an unbelievable job of hitting fastballs in. And that's what he was thinking on that pitch, but it kept chasing him. Hope he's all right.
Here's Andrelton 0 for 2. 1 ball, no strikes. Medlin's spot is due next for Atlanta. That's Blake DeWitt. He would pinch hit if Andrelton could reach. Balls and a strike. Braves have tied the game 2-2. Juan Francisco with 2 solo home runs.
Another slider behind in the count.
Base hit to right field. Braves hits are coming in bunches. 2 in the second inning, 2 here in the 7th. And DeWitt will bat for Medlin, who went 7 innings, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned.
Certainly like to get Andrelton into scoring position, but if you send him here and Perez throws him out, then you lose your pinch hitter. Unless, of course, DeWitt were to stay in the game and play somewhere in the field, but that's a chance you take if you send Simmons with 2 out.
And the Royals have a bit of a shift on for Blake here. Escobar, the shortstop, close to the second base bag. Gets plugging the hole between first and second at second base.
Tell you, the way the bench has played for the Braves, especially on the road trip, the guys stepping in and doing the job, wouldn't surprise me at all for Blake to find a gap or pull one down the line.
Right center field wouldn't be bad either. That's where he shoots it. Long run. Kane still coming. It's off his glove. Simmons going to be waved around third. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it's going to be plenty of time to retire the side. Jeff Francoeur backed up Lorenzo Cain. We showed you all the assists for Francoeur, and he made a perfect throw to gun down Simmons and keep this game tied in the 7th inning. What a throw. Tie game going to the 8th. Cannon-like throw from right center field.
Did he get him in time? If he didn't tag him right there on the shoulder, then he would have been safe. I can't tell if he got the shoulder or not. Angel Hernandez in a perfect position to call it. But if he whiffed on the shoulder, then the rest of the tag doesn't come until he gets him on the backside. Did he get his shoulder? Hard to tell, but a great effort by Andrelton to try to get around the tag after the typical Jeff Francoeur rocket.
So that scored a double for Blake DeWitt. 8-9-2 the putout of Andrelton Simmons at the plate. And Eric O'Flaherty takes over in the 8th inning on our AT&T call to the bullpen. I love the idea of Brian Snitker sending Simmons there. You force Francoeur and Perez to make a perfect play. They did.
Absolutely. With 2 outs, absolutely.
So now the Braves into their bullpen, a bullpen which has been spectacularly good to start this season. The relief corps earned run average 1.3. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just missed. Full count. Something else to keep in mind for Kansas City this year. Got some lefty bats in this lineup. They're hitting lefties at a .298 clip this year. And O'Flaherty has their middle of the order coming up.
And I was talking about their young players and how they've kind of had some highs and lows and trying to figure out who they are. Hosmer's one of those guys. He got called up in 2011. Played in 128 games and hit .293, 19 homers, 78 RBIs. Last year he played every day, 152 games, and he dropped to .232, 14 homers, 60 RBIs.
O'Flaherty finished him off with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 down.
Let's take a look at something. You kids at home, you've been taught to run hard all the time. You never know if the ball's going to drop, and don't watch the ball. Now he's running hard here, but then he hits second and goes into a glide, and he's looking over his shoulder, and then he started turning it on when he saw Brian Snitker waving him. Maybe if he's running the whole way and not watching the baseball, he might get in there.
As you look back at that replay too, Joe, if he touched third base, he may have made a glancing blow of the outside of his shoe. I mean, he caught the smallest piece of the corner of the bag.
I didn't see that. Good pickup.
Watch this.
Yeah, you can see the base move, so he did get it. But don't watch the baseball. 2 outs, just run hard. Third base coach will let you know.
Fouled away by Perez. 2 balls and a strike. Braves will have the top of their order coming up in the bottom of this 8th inning. Good ball game. Braves and Royals both in first place. Kansas City 7-5 on the year. The Braves 11-1, trying to extend their winning streak to 10 straight. To right. Jason going back, leaps up, makes the grab. That ball kept carrying. Perez hit it hard. He's the second out.
A couple of pretty good defensive right fielders going at it in this series, even if it's a 2-game series. Last year's Gold Glove Award winner right here flagging this one down. And Jeff Francoeur, a 2-time Gold Glove Award winner.
Kane pops up the first pitch. That's behind first base and in safely. Lorenzo Cain will stop there with his second hit of the night. You run on that man at your own peril.
Not even close since 2005 in terms of the most outfield assists. Keep in mind Soriano's a left fielder, so he's got a shorter throw to make to any base. Francoeur in right field. Markakis, Pence, both right fielders. But I got to put Jeff's arm in there with some of the best I've seen. And first guys that come to mind for me are Ellis Valentine and Dave Parker, and he's right there.
Dwight Evans was the guy for me as a kid.
Fouled away by Moustakas. Strike 1. Again, not only was the throw great, but the presence of mind to back up the play as well.
Well, he's a good outfielder. He knows to be there to help out.
Well, that's a good lesson too. You know, you're talking about Andrelton and the running and the kids at home. You know, that throw by Francoeur, that catch by Jason. I heard you talk earlier about Jason's defense. Even though those guys may not be hitting the way they want to, they're still doing some things to help their team win games. It's not always about how many hits do I have and how many home runs do I have.
O'Flaherty way ahead of Moustakas. No balls, 2 strikes. Gaddis, a nice stop. as Kane wandered off the first base bag. No throw back that way. 1-2 your count.
That was a tough one too.
That man's been awfully good at blocking balls in the dirt so far. And a swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the 8th inning for Eric O'Flaherty. And the top of the Braves order is coming up. Upton, Hayward, Upton, and hopefully more in a tie game at 2.
Great pitching from the starters. Chris Medlin, 1 unearned run. Jeremy Guthrie gave up 2 home runs to the same guy. Juan Francisco, that's the difference in the ball game right now, the fact that the home runs have tied it.
And for more on Chris Medlin's night, let's check in again with Tom Hart.
All right, Chip, maybe we're due for more dramatics. You see, last time Chris Medlin faced the Royals in his only other start against Kansas City, June 19th, 2010, filling in for an injured Jair Jurgens. Medlin was pretty good. Eric O'Flaherty followed him out of the bullpen, and that set the stage for the dramatics in the bottom of the 9th inning. Troy Glaus led off the inning, and with 1 swing of the bat, the Braves went home winners. Perhaps there's another walk-off in store for Atlanta tonight and Chris Medlin against the Royals.
And if they are going to walk off, they're going to have to do it against one of the hardest throwers in the American League. Kelvin Herrera is on to pitch. This guy's 23 years old and can bring it.
They've been kind of doing a closer by committee thing, even though Holland is the guy they use the most, Greg Holland. But Herrera has closed some games, so has Aaron Crow.
That one at 97 miles an hour, but off the plate.
Their bullpen in strikeouts per innings pitched among the best in baseball.
They're averaging nearly 12 strikeouts per 9 innings as a relief corps. And a roller toward third. Nice pickup from Moustakas. And a perfect throw retires B.J. Upton. 1 man down. Here's Hayward. Jason 0 for 3 tonight. He is due. See if he can time a fastball. First pitch swing, driven deep left field. Track, wall, goodbye.
Nice call.
98 and out of here.
just can't throw hard enough.
Yep. The Braves have hit 3 solo homers and now lead in the 8th. What did we say earlier tonight about the big home run disparity between these two ball clubs? Braves have hit 3, Royals have hit 1. And 1 is the margin of the Atlanta advantage late. Justin breaks out the tape measure. How far's that baby going? Tommy, we call that Simpsonville out there.
That's funny. Watch this opposite field jack. 98 fastball away. That cleared the wall by a good distance in and of itself going the other way. But
Gaddis pops up the first pitch. And over at first, Hosmer at foul ground puts the squeeze on that. 2 outs.
Before we get to Justin's homer, let's check out the bench reaction. This is Jason's. You know, he's been a low fastball hitter most of the beginning of the season. That was up. Was that a hanger or was that a fastball?
That was a hanger. Something hanging off speed.
Man, oh man.
The Braves hit about 1,000 feet worth of home runs in the 8th inning and take a 4-2 lead now. And you know, Kimbrel's getting ready in the Braves bullpen with the 7, 8, 9 hitters due for Kansas City. Back-to-back homers. And now Ugly tries to get in on the fun. And he is gonna.
Folks, that pitch was 99. You just can't go hard enough.
Cannot. You gotta have something to go along with it. These guys can hit fastballs.
Dan deserved that. The tough luck he's been hitting in.
Bombs away in Atlanta GA in the 8th inning.
It is Peach clobber time.
Salvador Perez out to the mound just to let the fireworks guys reload.
You're going to have to add to that 1,000 feet of home run, Chip.
Yeah. And as happy as the players are, got to be thrilled for Dan Uggla, certainly. But think of the countless hours that Greg Walker and Scott Fletcher have turned in anonymously in the cage, day after day after day, for Jason Hayward and Dan Uggla in the early weeks of this season. It has paid off tonight.
Tom Hart just made a brilliant observation down there on the field. He said that number 42 is pretty good.
Yeah. Man, oh man. Three balls and a strike. 5-2 advantage. As Francisco pops it up in foul ground. The Royals were playing Francisco to pull, so no chance for Moustakas to catch up in front of their dugout. At last report, the Nationals were getting clobbered down in Miami. The Mets are playing a doubleheader in Colorado and I believe lost the first game. This could be a very productive night for the Braves in the East. Ball 4.
This guy's shaking up a little bit, you know. Upper 90s fastball. Had Yost out. Maybe that's it for him, but he's given up 3 home runs this inning. He may not give up 3 home runs the rest of the year.
Yeah,
the Braves have gotten on him.
He hadn't had his fastball turn around like that too often.
So Herrera will be taken down. He goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 3 hits. All 3 of them were launched into the seats in left. He also walked a man as Hayward and Justin Upton go back to back. And then Dan Uggla, the 3rd homer of the inning, extends the Atlanta lead to 5-2. Home runs in this Atlanta 8th inning. The Braves have broken open a game that's now 5-2 in their favor.
Gretchen Caney tells us that he only gave up 4 homers all last year in 76 appearances.
So Aaron Crow will try to finish the inning. Chris Johnson, the Braves batter. Chris has doubled in 3 tries.
This guy can bring it too. He's in the mid-90s. Originally a first-round pick by the Nationals. He didn't sign with them and went back to the University of Missouri and was drafted by the Royals.
Runner goes. The throw to second is going to be late. Jordan Schaefer came on and pinch ran. So he's got a stolen base.
Yeah, I didn't see him come in. And I thought, boy, watch Juan go.
I was thinking the same thing.
That's in for a strike. 1-2 your count. Crow pitched in 73 games last year for the Royals out of the bullpen. Was 3-1. Averaged a little more than a strikeout per inning pitched. And he just missed the outside corner to Chris. Way high, full count. Atlanta has 8 hits, 5 solo home runs. And a shot to right field. That's a base hit. Schaefer around third. Francoeur's throw is up the first baseline. It's 6-2.
More good work from the bench. They got a double from DeWitt earlier tonight. They get the pinch run, stolen base that sets this up. Good piece of opposite field hitting by Chris Johnson. They add another run.
So 4 runs, the official line for Herrera. And Andrelton Simmons takes a strike. Reggie Caney tells us that this is the first 3-homer inning for the Braves since April of 2008 when they turned the trick against the then Florida Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, nice to see Andrelton get in on the action a little bit.
He did up in Washington on Sunday, a 3-run shot in the 3rd inning. Last runs given up by Gio Gonzalez that day. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Simmons still alive. Mike Minor and Wade Davis here tomorrow. 12:10 first pitch, 11:30 Eastern Time with Braves Live. It's supposed to be a beautiful day in Atlanta. Hope you'll make your plans to join us. Braves on their way perhaps to a 10th consecutive win. That's bounced into and then out of the Royals dugout.
Giving him a steady diet of sliders, hard sliders. And Andrelton was, before that last pitch, trying to think of a way or figure out a way to try to keep his hands back a little bit, maybe go to right center. But as hard as this guy throws, that's hard to do when you're behind in the count.
So a lead of 6-2 means it's too big a lead for Craig Kimbrell to pick up a save. He is now sat down. Luis Avilan is loosening up. Simmons spanks that ball down the left field line, foul.
See, that's what makes this team so dangerous. He's throwing him all those sliders, so you figure you got him hanging out over the plate a little bit. He throws him his Sunday best fastball, and he still turns on it and pulls it in the seats. These guys can all hit the fastball.
That guy hit 2 of them out tonight. And a breaking ball just missed. 2-2.
All right, if you're going to face this lineup, you better be on your game. Not a whole lot of room for error. I say when they make a mistake, the Braves hitters have done an unbelievable job so far this year of making them pay for it.
Up and away, full count. Tenth pitch of the at-bat coming to Andrelton Simmons. That's the other thing I love. Got a 4-run lead in the 8th and nobody's giving at-bats away. Get some more if you can get it. Runner goes, swing, fly ball center. Lorenzo Cain is under, and he's got it. That was fun, wasn't it? 3 home runs hit by the Braves in the 8th inning. Jason Hayward, opposite field. Justin Upton, a mile into straightaway left, and then Dan Uggla turned around some 99-mile-an-hour gas, and the Braves had a run on a base hit from Chris Johnson. We go to the 9th. Braves need 3 outs for a 10-game win streak. Bottom part of the order coming up for the shell-shocked Kansas City Royals. Ramiro Pena checks in for the Braves. He'll be at third base. And there is Luis Avilan, who's done a great job filling in for Johnny Vetters in the Braves bullpen.
It's nice when you lose a guy like Vetters and you got a guy like this to fill in. 4 games, 1-0 record, 4 innings. Done a nice job making it hard for the Braves to take him out of the lineup if and when Johnny returns.
Evan Gattis, often referred to as the secret weapon. Well, this guy might be the secret weapon out of the pen. He's been so good.
And he jumps ahead of Jeff Francoeur, strike 1. Francoeur gave the Royals a 2-1 lead in the 4th inning with an RBI hit. Also threw out Anderson Simmons at the plate. So he's had a personal happy homecoming. But now the Royals in a deep 9th inning hole, down 4 runs.
This is exactly what the boys in the orange shirts out in right field wanted to see happen. Hey, Jeff, have a good night. Drive in a run, throw out a runner at the plate, and the Braves go home winner. Got to finish them off, though.
Liner into center field. A 2-hit night for Francoeur. So he's aboard to start the 9th inning. That's the 8th Kansas City hit. Fans save big on your next Braves game with the Chevron Value Plan. For $69, you get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, a parking pass, a game program, and a $10 Chevron promo card, a savings of over $50. Visit Braves.com/value today. Here's Chris Getz. Getz hit a home run. .954 at bats between homers for Chris Getz. Now Avilan quickly ahead of him, 0-2. Double play ball, perhaps. Braves get the force out. Francoeur's retired, 1 out. Here's Billy Buckner. Or Butler, excuse me.
I was going to say, Billy Buck.
For all you old guys in the booth, I had to go retro for you. Sorry, yeah. Billy Butler. As Joe mentioned, Butler's most of the time they're DH. He'll get some time tomorrow at first base with Mike Minor on the mound. And I read something about the Royals getting ready for this series. He's got a great nickname. They call him Country Breakfast. Big dude. He had 29 home runs last year. Drove in 107. Played every game but one.
I'm told he loves to talk hitting too. When his playing days are over, he wants to be a hitting coach.
That got away from Gaddis. And Getz will move up 90 feet. Let's check in again with Tom Hart.
Guys, typically a player may sell something for charity that would have something to do with his name or nickname. Remember, some guys have produced bottles of wine in their own name. Well, Billy Butler has his own barbecue sauce. Doesn't exactly go with country breakfast, but for him, possible.
Barbecue sauce goes great with grits.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He said you find it at the local grocery stores in Kansas City. It's just got my big mug all over it. And all the proceeds go for his charity, which is to feed the food bank in Kansas City.
Great stat on Butler. Among Royals players with at least 2,000 plate appearances, there's only one Kansas City hitter who has a higher career batting average than Billy Butler. No, it's not Joe Simpson, but it's George Brett.
That was my second guess.
2-2. Oh, Avilan started to make a pitch and is grabbing the back of his left leg. That'll be a balk. But Avilan down on the turf as Braves assistant athletic trainer Jim Lovell to attend to him in front of the mound.
I have seen a lot of pitchers go down and kind of fall down the front slope of the mound for knee issues. I don't know that I've ever seen one happen. This happened on a hamstring, if it is a hamstring. Left leg. He's grabbing in the hamstring area. That looks bad.
And they're going to have to help him off the field.
That would be a huge loss.
discomfort for Luis Avilan. Ed Mangan, the Heads groundskeeper, riding along in the cart, helping to stabilize Avilan's leg as they cart him off to the Braves training room. They'll get him out in the right field tunnel, and then they'll win their way back along the first base line underneath the lower grandstand here in Atlanta.
You were just saying a second ago, Tommy, about how he has been such a wonderful addition to the bullpen in the absence of Johnny Venners, and what a luxury it is to have them both once Johnny comes back.
Yeah, it's, you know, you hate seeing anybody get hurt. Obviously, you certainly hate it even more when you see a situation like that where he's getting his opportunity, making the most of it, and then something like that happens. You just, man, you cringe when you see that.
So Craig Kimbrell was loosening before the start of this ninth inning. Didn't take him long to get ready. And he'll come in with a 2-2 count to Billy Butler with the runner at third base after the balk. And a swing and a miss for the second out. Butler's retired. 2 outs. And Alex Gordon, the final hope for Kansas City. Gordon extended his hitting streak to 12 straight games with a 7th inning hit. Time call.
Now Kimbrell gets the strikeout, doesn't he, Tom?
I was just wondering that. I think so.
I think if you come in and inherit a 3-1 count and walk a guy, it goes to the previous pitcher. But I think if you get the strikeout, you get credit for it. I believe that's right.
Strike one to Gordon. High breaking ball, 0-2. You see a lot of wry smiles from the opposition when Brent Kimbrell's pitching.
That's not fair smile?
Yes.
See, he throws, Herrera throws as hard as Craig, but Herrera doesn't have Craig Kimbrell's breaking ball that he can throw for strikes.
Base hit to right field by Gordon. An 0-2 pitch. And that'll bring home Chris Getz. And that'll make it a 6-3 game. That run is charged to Luis Avilan. And that's the first inherited runner to score this year, fellas. It was on an 0-2 pitch.
Well, better here than in a tie ball game.
Here's Escobar.
Been a first pitch swinger all night.
1-1. Don't hold Gordon. He'll take second base. One more strike to get. Up the middle, Ugla backhand, long throw, the scoop in time.
And for the first time in 13 years, the Braves have a 10-game winning streak. On a night where they make 3 errors, a spectacular defensive play ends things for Atlanta. The Braves hit 5 solo homers and beat the Royals 6-3 tonight.
Dan made a throwing error earlier tonight. He too atoned with the home run, and now a great play to end the ball game and save a run. Well done.
The 8th inning, the difference tonight, fellas. That's our SunTrust shining moment.
There's the first shining moment. There's 2. He got real shiny in the 8th inning. There's 3. A real shining moment for the Braves in the 8th.
Atlanta 12-1 now on the season. They've won 10 consecutive ball games, and they'll try to complete another sweep with the Royals providing the opposition here tomorrow at 12:10 Eastern Time.